participation. So this week we're going to step away from the textbook in order to start working on your next project. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at the physical environment of the classroom. And so next week, we're going to actually look at chapter 7 in your textbook. But this week, we're going to start looking at the activity center project that you're going to be working on. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the project, what you need to do this week in order to sign up for one, and show you what's on Blackboard for you. So if you go into this week's folder, you're going to find that under the Activity Center project, we're going to start working on the project that is an individual project. It is not a group project, so no one has to worry about working as a group. I found that that's difficult to do online sometimes and cause some additional frustration that I didn't want. The whole purpose of this assignment is to gain more knowledge about what should be in the different centers that are in the classroom. And so the centers are things like sand and water, blocks, dramatic play, nature and science, art, library, those things. So the purpose of this assignment is for you to find out what is developmentally appropriate in each of those centers and really kind of become an expert on it. So there's a few things that you have to do. So the first one is to choose an activity center. And I'm going to show you how I have it set up on Blackboard for you. There are some documents that you're going to need to review before you ever start putting this presentation together. And just so you know, it is going to be in PowerPoint format. So that was why I had you do the Theorist project in a PowerPoint, so that if you weren't familiar with it, that you kind of became familiar with it and had a template to start working from, so that when you needed to start working on this project, you were more familiar with it. So this folder right here is going to have absolutely everything that you need in order to complete this project. So the first thing you're going to notice is I've even given you a graphic of how to sign up for a center. But basically, if you look over here in your left-hand menu, you're going to find a link that says sign up for Activity Center. And when you click on that, you're going to find the centers that you can choose from. So you have art, blocks, books, dramatic play, fine motor, math and number, music and movement, sand and water, or nature and science. So I have it set up so that there's a cap of 5, because I don't want everyone doing the art center, because you're going to be sharing these with each other. And so if everyone did the art center, then you're not going to learn anything new. So there is a cap of 5. So once a center has 5 students that have signed up for it, then it's going to be closed and you'll need to choose another one. So just so you know, most of these are self-explanatory, but the fine motor, that's where you finally find things like puzzles, or the lacing activities, Legos, anything that requires those small fine motor skills is what you're going to find in the Fine Motor Center. So that's the first thing that you have to do, is you need to sign up for a center. That counts as your participation for the week. So if you sign up for a center, then you get your full credit. So I've shown you how to sign up for the center. So then once you've chosen which center you're going to do, now you need to figure out what information you need. So if you click on this folder for the instructions and checklist, you're going to find I have created a detailed PowerPoint for you again, that's going to help you through each step of the way. But basically, this checklist is what's going to help you stay on track. So what you're going to be looking at are, you're basically compiling this for what you would find in a preschool classroom from ages 3 to 5. But there's a few things that you do need to make note of. If there are any accommodations for infants, toddlers, children with special needs, cultural differences. So if the information that you are researching gives you any information about what you would need, what it would look like in an infant toddler classroom, how to accommodate for children with special needs, then you do need to put that in your presentation. It is going to be a PowerPoint, and you are going to need to find some pictures of your materials. But these are basically the things that you're going to be doing. So the first one is what kinds of materials should be in your center. So there are certain categories of materials that need to be covered. It even tells you how many of these materials you need. And I'm giving you all of the resources that you need. So I just kind of want to give you an upfront glance at what you're going to be putting in your presentation. You are going to need to find some pictures of some of these materials. So thank goodness for Amazon and Google, because all you need to do is just copy the picture and then paste it into your presentation. Then your second thing you're looking at is how are you going to make sure that diversity is going to be represented in your center. Third, what skills and abilities do children develop from having access to the materials in your center? And I've even told you for this one, make sure to list page numbers and slide numbers for your information. So I actually have the resources that you are going to use, but you need to cite them in order to give proper credit. What is the teacher's role in facilitating learning with these materials? And then finally, you're going to find some standards that could be met in your center if it is fully stocked with developmentally appropriate materials. So you're going to find 4 milestones. Remember, those are standards. So we went over the milestones, understanding the different colors mean the different domains. Remember, the standards are the ones that have the letter and the number. In at least 2 different domains. So that means 2 different colors. So we all understand that in the library or the book center that children are going to meet language and literacy standards. However, they should also be able to meet some standards in other developmental domains as well. And that's what you're going to be looking at here. So making sure that you have a total of 4 standards, 4 milestones, but make sure they come from at least 2 different colors. They can come from 4 different colors, but at least 2 different colors. Make sure to include how teachers support learning and development. And again, all of this information is going to be in the resources that I have for you. And again, you need to make sure that you cite where you got the information from. So when you look at the rest of the information that is in this particular folder, so that's the instructions and the checklist. So now that you know what you're looking for, here are the resources that are going to give you that information. So in this folder, there are 3 PowerPoints. You are not going to need to view all 3 of them. My suggestion is to view the first one because the second and the third are going to be set up the exact same way. But each of the centers are going to be detailed in one of these PowerPoints. So once you have viewed the first one, if your center is not in that PowerPoint, then you just need to look and see, is it in the second PowerPoint or the third PowerPoint? But a lot of the information that you need is going to be in those PowerPoints. So that's the first place where you can get information. The second place is going to be in this folder called the Eckers. So if you look at your syllabus, you will see that one of the recommended resources is the Eckers book, which is this big yellow book that we use for ratings to determine high quality. But we didn't want you to have to buy the book in order to be able to do this particular assignment. So what I have done is in here, I have put the chapter that goes with each center for your access. So again, this is not for publication, this isn't for reproduction, but it is so that you have the information. So if I were to click on the art one, just so you can kind of see how it's set up. So it is going to tell you this is what the skills that they're going to develop. It's also going to tell you things like the categories. So if your center has categories, it's going to be mentioned in this Eckers chapter. So for art, there are 5 different categories, and it's going to tell you how many they should have. Normally, it's going to be around 3 to 5. So anything that you can't get from your PowerPoint, you are probably going to get from the Eckers chapter. So that's the second resource that is available for you. And then I have the milestones for you again. So the milestones was in last week's folder. It's in the course information link, but just so that you have everything that you need in one place. Now, once everyone has signed up for a center, I will put in a sample presentation, but I obviously can't do that until I know which centers have not been chosen, because it would be unfair to post a presentation that has the information that someone needs because they chose that center. So I promise there will be a sample in there. Once everyone has signed up, then I will choose a center that was not chosen, just so you can kind of see how students in the past have done it. So that really is what you're going to be working on this week. So it's not due for several weeks, but I do hope that you will go ahead and get started on it, especially since you don't have a discussion board or anything this week. All you have to do is sign up for your presentation. So as I said, next week we're going to get back into the textbook where we're going to go over chapter 7, which is the physical environment, talking about inside and outside the classroom, which is going to set us up for your observation assignment. So there really is a method to the madness of why I'm setting it up in this sequence, because between doing the information on your activity center and then taking the information from chapter 7, the observation is going to make a lot more sense to you. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, but I hope this is going to be an assignment that you enjoy. So make sure you sign up for a center, and as soon as everyone has signed up, then I'll post a sample in there for you. So have a great week, and I will see you next week.